Broadcasting way too early from 3 separate Wi-Fi connections. It's PT Breakfast Club with Tony Maritato, Dave Kittle, and Jimmy McKay.
Good morning, you absolutely beautiful overachievers. Welcome to PT Breakfast Club. We got new branding. Look at the frame on if you're watching a live stream. We do this on a bunch of live streams. Welcome. This is where physical therapists, rehab rebels, and clinic owners pretend not to check their schedule mid-show so they can come slide in and hang out, maybe slide in our DMs. Today we're talking about why physical therapists might secretly be the best content creators on the planet, and they don't even know about it. What? Why your eval already looks like a viral video, and you never looked at it that way, but maybe you will today. And how saving time in clinic sometimes means doing things that absolutely make no sense. We've got hot takes, fake sponsors that absolutely should not exist, and advice that might accidentally make your business better. Wouldn't it be great if you accidentally made your business better? That'd be good. But first, we got to pay the bills because you guys understand how this game works, guys. First, we're going to take a look at a new sponsor. We're getting into a little bit of pharmaceuticals, wellness brands now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, Buy-In Balm. Rub directly onto skepticism. Today's episode brought to you by Buy-In Balm, the first topical solution clinically proven to reduce patient doubt. Just apply directly to the forearm before your explanation, and suddenly everybody's nodding like they totally get it. Buy-In Balm, because compliance starts before the exercise. It's now available in 24 and 64 ounce tubs. That's a Buy-In Balm right there. It's a lot of balm. It's very balm.
Hey, I'll give you my credit card live over the show right now.
Yeah.
Let me get this 64 ouncer.
I mean, we could make it like a pheromone, like a spray. You know what I mean? Like you could spray it out. You could do a diffuser. What are those things that all the pothead kids in college had? They'd light it and it would burn slowly. What was that called? I wasn't a pothead kid. Not against. Oh, no. Like the thing that would just incense. Like they'd burn the incense. It would sit. Everybody had like a wooden toboggan in their college dorm room, and then they would light the incense. Everything smelled like closets.
You got to switch Jimmy and I, or else I'm going to get credit for being younger than I am.
Sorry. Oh, I made the thing. There we go. Now our names are below us. Look at that. Like we're on ESPN. All right. Where do you want to start? We could start with like the 2026 social media. What's going on? What am I supposed to be posting a lot? Am I supposed to be posting reels? Am I supposed to be posting videos? Or we could start with what I teased a little bit ago, which was why we think your PT eval is already structured like a viral video. You just haven't looked at it like that.
Let's do the social media because Dave's focused on that, and that'll lead into the evaluation.
I agree. Okay. Whatever you want.
I wanted to hear from you guys, right? So I messaged you both yesterday, and I know you guys are super humble, but I think your two accounts or presence online, I think are two of the top in the U.S. physical therapy, if not all of physiotherapy globally in terms of quality, consistency. I mean, consistency is really like the biggest, the main focus here. And so just for anyone watching or listening, like I sent a message yesterday to Tony and Jimmy, and I was like, I see like the Jimmy and Tony, they're doing these like images, these like badges that Jimmy, I think made, maybe Tony did too. Like, so I started messaging you guys. This is like what we would do even if we didn't have a show, right? So I'm messaging you guys, and I'm like, for my practice in New York City, concierge pain relief, I'm trying to do more content. And like some days it's like hard to even do 2 posts a day. I've done the posting before, but I said to you guys, like, first of all, how many, and I'm sure the audience might be curious, how many times a day? And I said, don't give me your average. Like Monday, how many posts on Instagram or Facebook? On Tuesday, how many posts on Facebook and Instagram? And I realized from what you originally said, but we can cover it now live, that I was, underestimating. I knew you guys were doing volume, but it's just like, so it's got to be not challenging. It's just like, you got to get in the groove, and I'm trying to get there. And I think folks out there are very, very close to achieving the same type of success that you guys have. It just is going to take consistency over time.
Jimmy?
Yeah. Well, so let's set a few things up. So Tony's audiences are the public, right? I mean, that's who so when Tony it is now. So when Tony like drops something and gets like 300,000 views or 500,000 views, I am jealous. I then have to quickly take like a little bit of a reality check. I'm aiming at an audience of 300,000 realistically. That's the number of American PTs. Do I care if an Australian physio or an English? No, that's great. So I'm aiming at a smaller market. It's still like, oh man, where's my million, view, whatever. These are not simpler. These are just different, right? Aiming at a bigger pond and getting 1 million views is still not easy, right? So number one, understand who your audience is. Number one, if everybody is your audience, it is really difficult to hit. So this is all a preface, and we'll get into details. The second thing I'll say is what you just hit on. What is the biggest lever? Frequency. I mean, I've done this before where I say, those exercise principles, frequency, intensity, time, type, volume, progression. Those are communication principles. Frequency is the lever that I am testing in 2026. My word of the year is frequency. So my goal, not just on social content, but my goal in episodes for my podcast is 365 episodes in no less than 365 days. And we're a month in and already everything is up. I mean, I know it's not a shock, but I mean like up by 3-digit percentages. So it's up more than 100% because of that. I did not increase quality, right? How am I going to measure that, right? I'm doing the same thing that I think I've normally done. I'm just doing it more. So that's what I'll preface it by saying.
Yeah, and like Jimmy said, I mean, I made the pivot probably sometime last year where I was like, okay, I had 2 audiences, the physical therapy professional group and then the general consumer. And I was like, why am I spinning my wheels? I'm killing myself trying to help drag therapists out of the situation they're in. I just can't do it anymore. And so that's where I kind of gave up. I said, you guys do what you're going to do. I'm going to move on. And now I'm focused on a larger population, but even different from Dave, like I'm not trying to sell appointments. I'm not trying to fill my clinic. All of that is done. I am trying to build a mechanism that brings attention. 100,000 to 500,000 view videos is what I'm targeting. And now I went from, 1 video a day to 3 videos a day to February. I'm shooting for 10 published posts, and it's going to be a combination of video and photo because photos are performing incredibly well for me right now, whether they be illustrations or actual photos. I grab screenshots from videos. I play around with all of that stuff. And, I added 50,000. I just looked this morning, 50,000 followers to my Facebook business page between the last 12 months from February 5th, 2025 to now. That was 50,000.
That's insane. That's an insane number. Yeah.
And that was an account that had 5,000, so right now I'm at 50,000 followers on that account.
That's insane. That's wild. Okay.
So Jimmy, I had asked you the past couple of days and you gave me the numbers privately, but like, what are you posting either on Instagram or Facebook per day? Let's say, I think you said so since Sunday, today's Thursday, February 5th. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, if you want to throw in Wednesday, what are you posting on Facebook and Instagram per day?
I think I should be better at this because I'm still being reactive. I looked at the data and it said that my audience on Instagram was most active Saturday and Sunday. And I was like, okay, well, if that's what the data says, I would have thought weeknights, right? Not during the day because we're working, but it said Saturday and Sunday. So I was like, well, then I'll triple down. So I was doing like 5 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday, and then like 2 or 3 weekdays. I try to hit those. And then what I used to plan, I used to be very like, well, I do an episode and I'll go to Opus Clip or Video AI. These are apps that you can drop a big video in and get a bunch of clips. And I didn't love them. They weren't good. They were B minuses. They weren't bad. They're bad, but you have to do a lot of work in there. I'd rather drop 1 clip from an episode that I do, find a really good moment, and then I'd rather make a bunch of one-off videos. And here's what I mean. This is a parallel. These are mic breaks. This is what I did for a living. I talked between Linkin Park and AC/DC for 15 years, right? And that's what short-form video can be, where I used to just take a moment like from Breakfast Club or try to take 5 moments from 1 hour-long thing from Breakfast Club. And there's a bunch of good ones in there. I'd rather do one good one and then do like these sort of one-off topic-based beginning, middle, and call to action video. And those do a lot better because they're not out of context.
The topic base you're talking about, is that the videos that you're posting where you're talking into the phone yourself?
Yeah, like, you know, hey, if PTs were Avengers, who'd be who? It's like, well, Captain America's Outpatient Ortho. And then I'm dropping like pictures of Chris, of Captain America and Iron Man. And that takes me 20 minutes to do from idea, because I'll play with the idea. I'll wrestle with the idea a lot to get it right. Because anybody can write a short form video script for if physical therapists were Avengers. And then it gives me like a C+, a C-. And then I go back and forth and I'm sanding it. I need to sound like me. I need it to hit. I need to understand the audience. So this goes into what we said when we first started playing with AI, like the better the prompt, the better the outcome. The more I think my AI, right, my little pet AI, well, there you are, buddy. It understands me, who I am, what I'm doing. But the more you can give, the better. And I've cheated now. I don't type a whole lot. I verbal process. So I hit that little microphone button and I just go, goo, lots of words, lots of input. And the more of that, the better the output. I take that script, I go into another app, look into the camera, do it. And then there's the post-production. I am not a post-production guy typically. Again, live radio guy, not complicated, a little bit of time. And the more stuff you put in there, the better. And then you get one idea that you're like, this is going to kill, and you post it and nothing happens. And then you post that one Avengers video. Like my hair I just rolled out of bed and I was like, this would be funny.
I remember that one.
Videos. And I'm like, awesome, cool. Now my hair is messy for my greatest moment. I had my 15 minutes of fame. So for me, I probably should be like, the goal is 3 every day when I'm more reactive. So now that we're saying this, I should be more proactive.
So what I like about what you're doing, Dave, is the videos you're sharing right now are more about, at least from my perspective, they're more about getting to know you, even if it's your therapist or anything, somebody else. It's more kind of getting an understanding of who you are, what you think is important. You chose to share that video. So it's kind of laying the groundwork, laying the foundation for most of what I have when I'm sharing something. The bulk of the audience understands it's a total knee replacement focus. Even if I don't say anything about knee replacement, the comments that come in are all related to knee replacement. I shared a cartoon about 3 guys running away from a bear. I said, you don't have to be the fastest, you just can't be the slowest. And a lot of the engagement was from people who had a knee replacement. There was nothing related to knee replacement in the post. So it's one of those deals where you're in the phase of kind of sharing the information about you, what you think is funny, what you think is interesting, why you're sharing those videos. Then you're also building the system. So I can go in the clinic today, I can get content for 20 new posts. And when I'm going to share, like I just did a little cupping, literally like a 7-second cupping clip that got 230,000 views or something like that. But I did it while I was treating, so you can start catching those little 7-15-second clips. They're not going to sell an appointment, but they're just going to bring eyeballs and bring attention to the channel, and they get monetized. So, that little video will make money.
What you just said there is important too. I mean, there are some brands that I've worked with in PT that are like, we have great content. What's going on? And Tony taught me this. And then it was very, very simple to see. And now I look like an expert, but that's actually how experts work. They don't know something. They find something out, then they do it. You have to train. Everybody gets pissed about the algorithm. Oh, this is awesome. How come we didn't play? I'm getting banned, right? You have to train. Instagram wants to know who you're after. It wants to be the Yenta, right? It wants to be the matchmaker. It wants to bring you the right people, so they love it. They want people to stick around on their platform. YouTube is trying to figure out who you are. And when you aim at a small audience, that's just harder. But man, once it figures it out, it's like, oh, got it. You like these people who watch these videos. Think about how much information you're giving YouTube. What you watch, what you skip, what you stick around, what you come back to regularly, what things you search. You're giving it a ton of information. This should creep you out a little bit. And then it's now slowly testing It's the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park. It's slowly testing every part of the fence, and it's going, this? Do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? It's the needy girlfriend. Do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this? And then when it starts to find it, boom, and it locks that in, it just might take a while. And that's simple. It's just not easy. So I've worked with big brands in PT association, parts of the association, and like, how come no one's finding us? 2 reasons. Number one, you're an association, right? You're a state chapter or you're an academy and you have 15,000 emails, but you haven't emailed on a consistent basis that you have a YouTube channel and that there's good stuff there. And the answer usually is no. And then the second part would be consistently put out content that just satisfies the crap. When you think you've over communicated, you're at 20%. Do it 5,000% more. Do it more. Frequency.
We are definitely at the stage right now where a channel like Dave's could put out a video, and if it just hits at the right time and the right message or the right thing, you'll get 1 million views. It doesn't matter how many followers, it doesn't matter how many subscribers, how much history.
Yeah, no, right.
The algorithm will test it, and if people stay on and watch it and engage, it'll just keep pushing and pushing and pushing to a bigger audience. I've never seen a time like today for organic reach.
I will give people grace though. Dude, this is frustrating, right? Like, you honestly have a great practice. I'm going to talk to like the Daves of the world, right? Like, I'm talking in a big audience. I've also been doing it for a decade, right? So like, everybody's like, let's go to Jimmy on the live stream, overnight success. I'm like, a decade of getting nothing, right? Or just dragging a little microphone to a conference. But like Tony knows, like it takes a while. So if you're doing this for your clinic, again, Will Boyd would say, and I would agree with him, if you have $100 to spend and you need to make $1,000 in a week, I don't know if organic is the only thing I would do. I would definitely do it because it's low cost, low risk. I would take that $100 and put it into ads, and then I would you have to say, I have no problem failing in public. But my boss had a great line. If you do something on the air and no one listens to it and it flops, no one watched you fail. Delete it after a day. No one can. And I've heard some varying reports, but everything that I can see is if you delete stuff, the platforms don't penalize you for that. Again, follow the money. They want you to bring people. They want you to bring all the boys to the yard. So they're like, what milkshakes does this person produce? Let me get those milkshakes to the right people. Like, follow the money. They are not working against you. They are working 100% for you.
For any other practice owners that are watching or listening, I want to go in real quick in a second to some of the benefits that I've had in the short time of having concierge pain relief on Instagram, specifically in regards to DMing physicians. That's a little teaser for a second. I want to come back to posting. Jimmy, Tony, when you guys post 3, 10, 5 posts a day across Facebook or Instagram, are every single post that you guys do recently or currently, are they manually published, or are you guys using some scheduling app or anything like that in terms of tools? And if so, like, what's the tool?
So I'm using Meta Business Suite. So I would say it's like manual publishing.
Manual.
When I go, it kind of depends, but I'll go to the Meta Business Suite. I'll either set up the schedule 1 every hour for 12 hours, or I'll just post randomly throughout the day. That will automatically go to both Facebook and Instagram. Or I'll go to Instagram if I need to edit a video. I'll go to Instagram, I'll edit it in Instagram, post it, and it auto posts to Facebook. Yep. Those are my 2 main methods for those 2 platforms. And then I'll typically manually go to YouTube, manually go to TikTok. I used to go to Pinterest. I just fell off of that wagon. I haven't posted on LinkedIn for a long time. But yeah, I'm not using a tool to push everything out.
I'm a big fan of Publer. I just haven't used it in a year. I don't know if there's a difference, but I feel like there's a difference because and Gary Vee talked about this 3 years ago. He's like, make stuff specifically for Instagram. Like, if I post something on Instagram, it doesn't, and the same video gets 100,000 views on Instagram and gets 11 on YouTube Shorts. Why? Humans are very humany. I don't freaking know why. It's frustrating. but also repost that video 3 days later and it gets 3,000. So I've gone sort of the other way, and I'm like 100% granola. Look, I'm wearing a vest today, right? I'm all organic. I'm granola. I'm crunchy. I'm 100% sort of what Tony's doing, which is I'm doing everything manually. I sort of like that because like I have a comment or a caption, and then I'm like, no, I think it's better on this when I do it like this. So I'm just a dude in the kitchen who's adding a little salt and a little oregano and trying to figure out what the best thing is. And here's the answer. You're never going to know. It's locks and keys, man. There's just a bunch of locks going by at 4 million miles an hour, and you're just throwing keys in there to see what opens. Consistency will be your best weapon. Consistency and volume over time. That's it. Because if someone comes, let's take it from short social content to podcasting, and they're not the same, right? Because podcasting is not social content. You can post social content about your podcast, but a podcast is not on a platform. Someone could find me at episode 1200 and then be like, who's this guy? And then go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So like the volume of your library, man, one viewer, listener could equal a lot of success. And then they tell 5 friends. That's where that volume and the frequency really start to compound. It's weird. It's a weird game.
Dave,
what
anything
else? Well, yeah, anything else from that I was asking, or anything from the DMs that would help anyone else that's let's say specifically, because no one really watches, or not, no, I don't want to say no one. Most of the folks watching or listening want to get more new patients, and they're going to use Instagram or Facebook the way I'm using it. And maybe over time, certain people like David, who was on the show before, maybe they're going to eventually use social media like Tony or Jimmy, where it's, therapist facing. I've used my YouTube for practice owner facing. So Tony's got this like big potential reach. He's reaching all consumers. Jimmy's focused on physical therapists. And then I have this like 10,000 pool of practice owners that I'm trying to make content for. So I have a smaller audience, but in terms of any practice owners out there, any other things like either tips, I don't want to say hacks or whatever, but like anything that we haven't reviewed that maybe I asked privately that would help them, I don't want to say shortcut success, or anything that like, other than, again, they need to just film stuff in the clinic, get patients to sign waivers, film your therapist doing any quirky things or stories or clinical pearls or challenging patients that are anonymous little stories, anything else that would be, maybe quick wins or things that some of the audience could actually implement today or tomorrow.
What do you got, Tony?
I think the thing that worked for me, like talking consistency, is, I took a week off like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. At the end of January, I took a week off. I'm burnout. I don't even care. I'm not posting anything. I had a big month in the end of December, beginning of January. But for me, I'm not looking at this as I have to do this. I'm looking at this as it's a mental break from what I'm doing in the clinic. It gives me a distraction. I hear therapists talk about how like complex and how much thought goes into patient treatments, evaluations, engagements, things like that. For me, this just gives me a little recreational break to do something else, to reset before I maybe go into my next patient engagement.
Yeah.
And so if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, that's okay. It's not costing me anything. It gives me a little play money on the side that I can do stuff with. If I took it more seriously, I would reinvest the income back into ads, just like Jimmy said. I would try to get to 1 million followers quicker. I wouldn't waste time with other stuff, but I still kind of use it as a playground, and that keeps the stress low. So if I don't publish today or tomorrow, no big deal. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. I would say 2 things. Number 1, relax. You're not behind. You're just early in the game, and I don't really care when it is. Like, so relax. The advice I was given in radio when I would sit there and look at a CD, kids, a CD is like a physical MP3. We'll talk about it later. I'd be like, should I play the song on my radio station or not? And a great boss just said, you don't get beat by the songs you don't play. Get beat by the songs you do play. Play a crappy song for 3.5 minutes, you suck. So relax. The second thing I'll say, if you're like, yes, this is for me, I do this constantly. I'm showing you my notebook. All I'm doing is I've always got 5 formats that I'm doing. Formats. I'm not even talking about videos. I'm talking about things that I'm doing. In December and January, I was doing this format on LinkedIn. If MedBridge hired Jimmy, here's the first 3 things I do. If blah did blah, here's the thing. That was a format. It was a great LinkedIn long form text post. It was a way for me to play with ideas. Could I turn that into a video? Yes, you can. So it was text and then video. So I like the ideas and the formats. Then we move to the mediums. That's why, kids, that's why we call it media. You know that, right? Everybody hates media. Media sucks. You are media. You are media. You are me. You are yelling at the media on the media, right? So I always have like 5 formats going on, and they're always stunningly simple. Right now I've got if X, then Y. If PTs were Avengers, then who would they be? That's if APTA were to hire Jimmy, then what are the, right? That's one format. I do clips from episodes. If I'm having 11 conversations a week, why wouldn't I get one short form social clip out of it? And now I'm doing carousels, because now everybody's telling me the talking to the camera video in 2026 might be losing steam. Platforms are smart about that. They don't want to be a played out song. So I'm doing carousels, but I watch what other people are doing. Like Gary Vee's doing a lot of like image, like on Instagram, image, swipe, and then you swipe and it's a video. It's like, oh, it's cool. It's wrapping paper, present, wrapping paper, present. This is the same stuff in 16 different ways. That's all it is. So have one format. Do you want me to prove this? If you go to Blend Tech on YouTube, I've done this before. Go to YouTube and search Blend Tech. This is a company that makes the world's greatest blender. That's what they said, not me. Their whole YouTube and social strategy for a gajillion years with 1 billion followers. I don't know, not actual numbers. They're just like, hey, we have the world's greatest blender. And then they got this guy in a lab coat with goggles and gloves, and he just walks in from off camera and he's like, hey, he's like Mr. Rogers. And he's like, puts the blender down and he just goes, 12 golf balls, puts them in the blender. Will it blend? And then they blend it. Of course it's going to blend. It wouldn't be on the show. One format. That's their whole thing. So you don't need 50 formats. You don't need to compete with everybody and be the Gary Vee. You don't. Figure out what your method is and your message and your medium. Oh, that's 3 M's. Message, method, medium. And then repeat. Then lather, rinse, repeat. And which one is the best? My last statement. Just like which exercise is the best? The one you're going to do. If you hate yourself on camera, don't be on camera. Get someone else to do it, or do voiceover or whatever. This is the fun part. This should be fun. If it's not, get someone else to do it.
All right. So really, really quick DM strategy on how I use this with, again, so my account is tiny compared to Jimmy's PT Pinecast and Tony's Tony Maritato PT on Instagram or Total Therapy Solutions on Facebook. So my Instagram account right now at Concierge Pain Relief, only 112 posts so far. I have 244 followers, and I'm following 664 accounts. Really quick, I'll give a couple stories on how I just got an in-person visit with a stretch company, a personal trainer, a physician who was reaching out to me that wanted to speak on the phone, and then another physician yesterday who just DM'd me saying interested in referring patients to us. So first step, really quick, I go on Instagram and I just follow every New York City account. I'm trying to follow just every New York City account, but I started with all the physicians. So you find one physician who's fairly popular in your city or area, and other physicians are probably following that physician. So I would just follow every single physician and medical practice, personal trainer, gym, Pilates, wellness, like anyone in the whole health and wellness space. But specifically, I started with physicians. Some of them will follow my account back. Some of them won't. The ones that don't follow back, I don't want to DM them, because if I DM them, it'll go into, what is it, like the requested folder or whatever. Like it doesn't go into the inbox of the Instagram DM. So It looks kind of like spam. It's like the spam folder of Instagram. If I follow a physician and they follow back, now if I DM them, it'll go into their inbox of Instagram, and I'll just write, hey, Dr. Smith, thanks for connecting here, and thanks for following, or thanks for following back. David Rubin's my 245th follower. Love it, David. Thank you. You're the man. So once I DM them, I'm able to get in their inbox and I'm just saying thank you for the follow and connecting. And I also have done this as well. I took this from Dan Martell from the book Buy Back Your Time, which is an amazing book. You should buy it or listen to it on Audible. In that, his DM strategy is, let's say Jimmy follows my account. I DM Jimmy. I say, hey, Jimmy, thanks a lot for connecting here. Are you here for the free content or are you here for rehab? ? And the second thing is what I want to try to see if they're really there for, which is the rehab, which is, can we convert these digital people to paid in-person evaluations, which is the whole marketing for private practices out there. So you can say, are you here? Are you just here for the free content? And if that's the case, that's cool. Are you here for the free content or rehab? And the second thing would be whatever you're looking for. On Tuesday this week, this trainer came into the office at our office and he came through the DMs and we invited him over for a tour after he commented on one of our posts about amazing facility. Dr. Gary Schwartz, MD, I just spoke with him for the first time on Monday. He found me on Instagram. He followed us first. He DM'd me first. He reached out. It's just from the content. It's like, it's amazing. Yesterday, a different physician, I won't say her name because we haven't really talked, but I sent the same question. Hi, Dr. So-and-so. Thanks for connecting here. Are you here for the free content or are you interested in rehab? Meaning like, are you probably not interested in rehab for yourself, but that's the play, at least for me. And then she replied, interested in referring patients. And I'm like, boom.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that is the current DM approach that is working right now for us.
And that's awesome. That like your account is mini but powerful. It does what you want. I was just thinking this morning, like 15 years ago, I've got a patient right now. It's the second Jiffy knee, which is a specific kind of total knee replacement. She's going to this doctor. There's only one orthopedic in the area that does the Jiffy knee. My second patient is going back for a follow-up. She's an awesome patient. She's doing really well. I was like, if I was trying to grow more patients, he and I should team up because I could push his reach locally and nationally. But I'm not, I don't need more new patients in the clinic. If I was in Dave's situation, that would absolutely, first thing I'd do is I'd message him. Second thing I'd do is I'd set up a virtual interview. We'd do a video. We'd get on Zoom. We would talk about the Jiffy knee, talk about his practice. I wouldn't say a single thing about my clinic. The intent behind that is just to build the relationship like Dave's doing. And then, it gives me a reason to post content. Like, that's a great video. There's interesting information there. I used to do it during and before the pandemic. I did it. Now I'm just at the point where I don't need to do that.
The only thing I might change is very subtle, which is real language. This might just be personal preference, but hey, thanks for connecting is nails on a chalkboard to me. Here's why, because I would never say it. So I would say, hey, great to meet you. Do you know what? I got yelled at once working for a very large healthcare company because I suggested using a little bit of slang and every once in a while spelling a word wrong. And they were like, that is insane. We never do that. I go, that's why you should do it. No one does that. That's why you should do it. So like Dan Martell, yes. It's a loaded question. Are you here for my stunning personality or my great looks? Which one are you here? Oh, that's fine. So you're like, are you here for the rehab or the great content? And you're like, well, now that you mention it, right? The only thing I would change is like half an ounce of salt is like, because I get these DMs. For some reason, it just feels like an SDR. It feels like a sales development representative.
Okay, so let me riff on this, Jimmy. Would you prefer let's say you follow my account and then I message back, hey, Jimmy, great to see that you're not a bot. Are you here for the free content or the rehab? That
to me sounds like you're on a subway responding, which is what you want. You want to separate. The good thing is when ManyChat, like that's an app, we'll talk about that in a second. When these things come out, everybody jumps on them, and that's cool. The best part is everybody does the minimum viable product. Awesome. You doing 3.5% more sets you 7 miles ahead. So whatever the default is, change it. Pee all over it. Pee all over it. Leave your stink on it. Make it sound like you. That's what dogs do, right?
Oh.
I get the neighbor's dog on one side of me, comes over, and there's a tree outside my window. The neighbor's dog over here comes out, pees on the tree. And then later on in the day, my neighbor on the other side, I watch his dog peeing on the tree. Why? Because one dog is saying to there, my tree. And he goes, no, my tree. You got to make it look and smell and sound like you. That will separate you in a sea of sameness. Gentlemen, I'm going to be at CSM on next week. We're going to be in the expo hall. I'm going to make a prediction. A lot of polo shirts, a lot of pens. I'm looking into the future. I'm seeing a lot of stress balls. I'm seeing phone chargers.
Sneakers, white sneakers, tennis shoes.
A lot of New Balance. New Balance is going to be well. The point is, do you know what I did? I'll reveal it now because the bleeding edge people are listening, but the average person, I am wearing a tuxedo on my first day of live streaming in the expo.
Yes, amazing.
But I didn't go white jacket, red jacket, black lapel. I want people to go, who the hell is that guy? Why is he wearing a tuxedo? I don't care if they ever listen to the podcast. I want people to go, why is there a guy with a tuxedo? Because you set the bar so damn low. Companies spending $30,000 to go. And you're like, we put the logo of our company on the left side this year. People are going to freak. No, they're not. No, they're not. You are what I refer to as mayonnaise flavored ice cream. The entire expo hall is mayonnaise flavored ice cream.
Oh my God.
Did you ever hear this idea? Somebody told me this idea 30 years ago and it stuck with me. Maybe not 30 years ago, but if you poll 100 people, let's do it right now. Dave, do you prefer hot tea or iced tea?
Hot tea.
Tony, hot tea or iced tea?
Hot tea if I had to drink tea.
Great. So if we had 100 people and 50% of the room said hot tea and 50% of the room said iced tea, do you know what a data scientist, not a data scientist, they'd be smart enough. Do you know what a marketer, a crappy marketer would do? They go, you know what? Okay. People love room temperature tea because half the room loves safe. And I say, walk down any aisle in the supermarket and look how many types of mayonnaise there are. I don't know, 6. And then go to the hot sauce aisle and how many types of mayonnaise, how many types of hot sauce are there? 4 billion. Why? Because it's the edge. So be the edge. If you want to blend in, there is not an aisle for mayonnaise flavored ice cream, my friends, but no one asked for it, but it's there. So I would say ManyChat is a tool that you could automate what Dave is doing. Someone messages you on Instagram. I think it works with Facebook as well. And then you can set up essentially, you've been part of these, you've DM'd or something. You get a reply. Number 1, don't do it instantly. Too creepy. Set it at 10 minutes, something, not instantly. That's a red flag. And then make it sound like you, not a robot. You came all this way to sound like everybody else. Oh, it's so disappointing. I'll see you all in Anaheim with the polo shirts. Our logo. It just reminds me of American Psycho with Christian Bale, where he's like, my business card is in bone with raised font. It's like mine is in, opal with depressed font. It's like we are literally, the bar is not low, the bar is on the floor. But yes,
I wonder real quick with Dave's strategy, I wonder if Dave went to the other person's account, subscribed, followed the other person's account, then went through and liked a bunch of the posts before reaching out through DM saying, hey, I just found your account. I liked a bunch of your videos. I think we're on the same page. Because I know I manage my account. I can see when somebody likes 5 or 6 different posts. I can see when somebody is subscribed, and it looks like a real person as opposed to like a ManyChat bot that's just sending you a generic message.
Yep. So I'm doing that. I yesterday there's in New York City. It's not a physician. It was a personal training place that's an independent personal training gym. And they had a flood. They posted a video that there was water leaking out of their ceiling into buckets and trash cans. And I followed the guy. I kind of had known the guy, but I just digitally. And I was commenting publicly on that post, like, oh man, like, so sorry to hear that. I hope it's a quick fix. Right. So yes, 100%. And I've never DM'd that guy. So commenting publicly also is a way to break the ice. Plus the account holder will typically like the comments
Yep.
Meaning they might heart it back, but meaning they like the social juice because more comments means they might get more engagement through the algorithm. So they're going to welcome any comment. They're not going to delete your comment, even if it's something like kind of like a, I don't know, something nice or just something that's vague. Also, questions are great. Questions in the comment section, question about that particular post where, yes, and then it shows again that this is a human and not a bot because I had to watch the video, think of a question that made sense, and I'm trying to get the account user to reply to it publicly. They're going to like that. Then, of course, it's so much easier, Tony. I agree, to then do a DM conversation after.
I mean,
real quick, Jimmy, before you do that, the only little thing I would say to that is I can see subscribers and likes instantly. I don't generally go to comments. This is me personally. I'm not saying others. But
yeah, because you get a ton of comments. You probably don't have time for it.
I don't. And so if you're talking about somebody else who has a bigger account, I do think there's impact. Like if you're looking for the biggest bang for the least investment, follow, like. The comment is great. I wouldn't bank on the comment. I would do the follow and the likes primarily.
Yeah.
Ahead,
this came from yesterday. Somebody was calling you out. Sorry, Tony. There's more to the pelvic floor therapy industry than OnlyFans clients. This person yesterday, this is the Mobility Project. She's a pelvic floor PT in Vegas. She was like, hey, what's that Movique thing you're doing? They're in What? In Vegas? What? So I hit her with the website. And then she's like, hey, sorry, Tony, there's more to the pelvic floor therapy industry. So what do you think Jimmy did? I engaged, right? I was like, hell yeah. I was like, seriously, Tony. I threw Tony right under the bus. And then I came up with OnlyFans as the PT-centered OnlyFans. And then what did I do? Then I created OnlyGonies, fake ad, and I put some fun music behind it, and I goofed on it, and then will I make it a script? Look, are people listening? I don't know. There's the Movique. There he is.
Shout out Movique.
How much did he pay us? He slided me money under the table. No, I'm only kidding. But when I'm in Vegas, who do you think I'm hanging out with? I'm gonna go get myself all strapped up and dots and tests. This is a very large world. It's also simultaneously a very small connected world. It is. Time it out.
See, he would be a great example. Like he sent me a friend request on LinkedIn. I accepted the friend request. I hadn't been accepting requests on LinkedIn for a while. Ooh. But like now I would go to him and say, okay, how many, people have you reached out to? What kind of connections have you made? We connected with him because we have the time and the resources and we like to connect. But I'd be interested in how much of an investment he made in trying to make organic connections and how many people just ignored him. Yeah. Real quick about the OnlyFans. After we talked about that, on one of my social feeds, I saw a video of a porn star being interviewed, and she was saying she does Kegels every single day. The person interviewing her said, "What are Kegels?" And it brought me back to pelvic floor therapist who wants to be the go-to pro for professionals in the industry, in that industry. They have the money, they have the time, they have the resources. It would be a phenomenal thing.
The term is mattress actress now. We don't say porn star.
Yes.
What about the actors? Do we not get a say?
Mattress actor. Yes. It's not porn. We don't say porn star anymore. There's kids.
The P word.
What were you going to say, Dave? You were calling timeout.
Yeah. So can you pull back just the screen share of that post on Instagram? The mobility that pelvic floor physical therapist had commented.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry, it takes me a couple.
And for the record, I got tagged there and I didn't even know. That stuff doesn't make it to me.
All right. So what is this therapist's name? I'm just curious.
This person?
The Mobility Project.
The Mobility Project. Okay.
Mobility.project.
Dr. Kelsey.
So, but she commented on your Instagram post that was an image, correct?
Correct. This was from I post when we're done with this live stream, I will then go make an episode out of it on Pintcast, right? And then one of the apps that I use automatically posts the image and the first 500 characters of the show. She commented on that, so it made sense.
I get that. But she had consumed the audio or the video of that episode somewhere else, but then commented here. Is that correct?
Correct.
Isn't that interesting? That's cool, right?
Yeah.
It is interesting, but it's obvious because, like, if you're telling me, someone was telling me about this crazy new go-kart place near me, and I was like, oh, what's it called? I didn't Google it. I went to Instagram because I knew Google would give me the website. I was like, I want to, they're like, dude, these carts go like 70 miles an hour. Like, they're 3 inches. I'm like, what? Show me. And now people are showing, it's show and tell. People show on social, they tell on your website. I wanted to see the show, so I went to that.
Well,
so
if you wanted to go book the place because Tony and I are going to come visit, you'd go to Google and look at website, phone number, hours that they're open, how to get there, all that.
How would I get
wanted
there?
to see? You wanted to see it, right, which is Instagram.
Show me. My favorite day in third grade was Fridays. Show and tell. I wanted to show, dude. I had the G.I. Joe hovercraft. This thing was the size of 2 small babies. And I dragged that thing into first grade. I was like, I got the hovercraft. It floats in my bathtub. And every dude in that class lost their mind. I didn't tell them anything about the hovercraft. I literally just like Lloyd Dobler in Say Anything. I was just holding the hovercraft above my head like the boombox in that movie. That's a show. Stop trying to tell people how great you are. Show them. We gave you the tools all in one box.
So last 10, 15 minutes, let's close with what you talked about with evaluations.
Oh, yeah.
Because your social media is the perfect place to show. Like, I go back to, I guarantee the experience you get going to see Dave Kittle's people versus the experience you get coming to see my people or me, very different. But if you're not showing it on social media, you're not going to see that difference. So you're going to be like, oh, I can go to Tony for $15 or I can go to Dave for $350. I think I'll go see Tony because they're selling the same thing, the letters after their names. So what's your idea on evaluations?
Hang on, we can't lose money yet, and this is a good one.
Real quick, you got to run through it quick. Let's go.
We've got a new product called Clinician Clone. See 2 patients at once while still only being 1 human. Today's final sponsor is Clinician Clone, the passive presence replication system. It nods, it stands, it asks, how's that feel? Clinician Clone, because sometimes you need to be in 2 rooms emotionally. This is completely valid for billing. It's just a cardboard cutout, guys. It's a cardboard cutout of you that talks, which is brilliant if you think about it. All right. So the idea that we played around with on Thursday was, what if we took the flow of an eval or treatment, any treatment session, which is subjective, objective, assessment, plan. And I know you dance around, and then you line it up with the format of a piece of viral content. So a PT eval might follow subjective assessment, explanation, plan, short form content. If you do it right, hook, problem, insight, call to action, repeat. So our PTs already train storytellers and don't realize it. Like, did they look at this like, well, it's a treatment session, it's super boring. I go, there was a television show that followed Ozzy Osbourne around in his kitchen. Like, and that thing was huge. Why? Because he's awesome. But you already have a format. Why are you not capturing it and sharing it? Don't even think about sharing it. Capture it, show it. So what do content creators understand about attention that clinicians are ignoring in 2026, but they shouldn't be? What are we ignoring?
I'm going to say the big thing is the hook. And I'm going to say good clinicians do this organically. They do it intuitively. They already know how to hook the person, build the relationship, build the curiosity, sell them on, what they can deliver. They just don't have the structure for it.
Or the permission, which they don't need, but like, I'm giving you permission. Do you guys know Mike Stella? Actually, I think, Tony, you sent me Mike Stella on Instagram. He is an ATC and sports performance coach. You should follow him. He does this. He's in the middle of a treatment session. Most of the time, all you see from the patient is their leg or their arm or their shoulder. And Mike's talking to the patient. So he's talking to the patient here, but the camera's here. But he's talking to you. Most people wouldn't work on the back of the calf if the pain's in the front. But what we do here is, dude, you're in the middle of the conversation already. This is simple, not easy. The biggest hurdle, I'm going to look deep into your eyes, audience. The biggest hurdle is you. The call's coming from inside the house. You're the reason. It's not the algorithm. It's not your phone. You don't need another app or piece of equipment. You need to start doing this with the things that you already have.
So those are the videos. I know, Mike, I was just watching a different physical therapist wanting to rebut Mike saying stretching is useless and the 10 reasons you shouldn't stretch or whatever on TikTok.
I follow this guy. I didn't know his name, but I follow him on Facebook now.
Yeah, he does a great job. Those are the videos I used to make where the patient would be with me and I would be, right in the middle of it, half talking to the camera, half working on the patient. And it was a great way to, I think, establish like expertise, authority. It puts you in a position of power, but it also makes it easy for you to create content because you have a real human in front of you that you're basically talking to or talking around.
And you're not changing anything. Even I've never met Mike, but never interacted with him. Like or dislike whatever he's saying about treatment, like what he's doing content-wise, like turn the sound off. Mike would tell you, copy what I'm doing. You can't be Mike. You can do his format in your way. Here's the $0 social strategy. Hire no one. Go 3 months ago, write down what Mike did. Like watch his video and be, okay, hook, talking about a treatment, then this, got it. That just follow him 30 days in the past. Do exactly what he does, but your version. You will win. Like copy him, but you can't. You can't be him. Be you in those formats. That's the ultimate steal of a strategy. Find someone whose content resonates with you and you're like, yeah, what's my version of that?
We briefly talked about it before, but with therapists recording, again, let's say they have the consent of the patient or the client, they've known the client for 5 or 10 years or whatever, so that they're totally comfortable with that client. The client would be fine with being on audio or video, or even if it's just the client's leg or whatever. The biggest thing that I think holds people back from doing this is that they're afraid of putting the video out there and getting feedback comments from PTs across the country of like, why would you do it that way? You forgot this. And the person had sciatica. You didn't do a slump test and this and that. That I believe is the biggest thing that they're afraid of and holds people back.
Can I give a strategy for that?
Yes, please.
Are those people helping put food on your table? No. So then what do you do about it? So here's what you do. I will give you the biggest cop-out way to do it. Every time there's a comment that comes in like that, go to ChatGPT and say, give it the situation. I did this. Someone said this. What would Chris Voss do now? And then whatever the AI says Chris Voss would do, you do. Chris Voss is a former FBI hostage negotiator. This guy knows how to de-escalate people with bombs. Trust me. Your comment section is going to be fine. Or do what I do. Someone comes at me. I'm usually pretty whatever. You come at me 5 times, I go full Jimmy on you. I had someone say, you're being a little, this is yesterday. You're being a little disrespectful. And I said, yes, because people have been disrespectful for me. I stand by my comments. And then I do it. I want the people who write to me to know this. After I push post on the text, I look right at my phone like this. That's what I'm doing to you. You have to grow thick skin. If you're going to turn a microphone on, you have to be able to live with that. But just do things you stand by. Do things you stand behind. And as Kevin Hart would say it with your chest.
This comment here from Drew Cruz. Can you just put this on the screen? So Drew, thank you for your comment. So he's saying, why are we caring about what other PTs say when we're trying to talk to potential clients? Yes, my point is that PTs, but just other people using social platforms are afraid of, or they've seen the keyboard warriors with all other news topics or sports topics or whatever. Like people are, it's so much easier to be behind the screen or on your phone and commenting like, yeah, exactly. But it's so easy on social media. There is, for someone in your same neighborhood or city, it's so much easier to be a critic from the sideline. Sure. And that is what holds back a lot of people from optimizing and playing on the field of putting social media content out there, running your business, whatever it is.
Tag me if that happens in your comment section. I'll come and I'll be the jerk. I'll come be your heavy. I'll be your bouncer. Get that out of here.
You know, it's funny. What makes me more uncomfortable especially in the professional posts, is when I share something and then somebody disagrees with it, and then you guys come out to support me. I feel more embarrassed by that, just because
Why?
it's like, don't make this person feel bad. And I know the commenter.
Jimmy, you got your tag team partners
making the rude. I feel bad for the person making the rude comment, but it's the same in sports. Like, I grew up, I never wanted to win a game by too much. I wanted to win, but I didn't want to win by too much.
Yeah, I get it.
It's just in my nature. It's so funny. But Seth Godin has the best thing. He just doesn't even look at the comments. Seth Godin never reads the comments. He doesn't look at the feedback. He just ignores all of it. He just puts the ideas out there.
Gary Vee would say, look at the comments, and he would say, I was taught, live by the numbers, die by the numbers, live by the sword, die by the sword. If you need to be fed, if you need the reassurance in the comments, you lost. So when people say that's great, I go, thanks. And when people say that sucks, I go, thanks for dropping by. Like, all right, thank you. Like, keep commenting. You know how many times a mob has come for me for something I've said or stood by? And I'm just like, this is me standing here. I said what, or if someone presents me with other evidence, I'm not saying I'm a complete douche most of the time, not most of the time, but if someone gives me evidence and we're like, I think you're wrong, I'm like, you know what? That's a pretty good point. Okay, that sounds good. Be you. This is simple. It's not easy. There's emotions involved, there's emotions in everything because we are humans. I have a great episode coming out about pain. Dr. Rachel Zoffness. Have you ever? She was all over the Instawebs and on to Huberman like for a while there. And she came on and I talked to her yesterday and she explains it. Everything that you do as a human goes through the part of the brain that regulates emotions. So for you to be like, I'm not emotional about it, you're lying. You're lying. It goes through, and she can tell you the parts and where and how and all that and that good stuff. But she does it in a way that you can understand. If this doesn't feel emotional, it means you're not doing something. It should feel emotional. You're not going to get over it. Get past it. That's a difference. There's a difference.
All right, let's hit parting shots. I'm going to say, the big takeaway from today, if you would have told me a decade ago, you're never going to add 50,000 followers to an account of 5,000 in a year. Like that was my mindset. That was my thinking. I'll never be able to do that. Now, obviously it's possible. It's totally achievable. The platforms are so incredible. I'm pushing addictive content, that you can pull those levers right now for no extra cost. You just need the practice and build the repetitions. Dave has probably thrown so many baseballs in his lifetime that he can throw it on target and not think about it. And that's what we need to do with the content.
Repetitions. Dave, what do you got?
I got a quick thank you to all of the live comments. So Will Boyd, David Rubin, thank you. Chelsea Muncie, Kendall Finn, Paul Fath, Movique Health over in Las Vegas, Colleen Green, Drew Cruz, and anyone else that I didn't catch in between. Thank you for watching, joining live, and also engaging and commenting live. We appreciate you.
I'm going to do my parting shot is what Drew said. Don't threaten me with a good time. That was my quote. When someone pushed me in the comment section, because I was like, I stand by what I just said. And they said, well, then bring me on a podcast episode. And I was like, and then they said, only if we do it live. And I was like,
that's okay. All you're like, yes, absolutely.
Welcome to my living room. Like, let's do it live. Even better. I don't have to edit anything. Even better. So understand what your good time is, though, right? Jimmy's good time is this. If that's not your good time, that's okay. Figure out what your good time is, and then lather, rinse, repeat. We'll see you guys on.
That's it. We're out.
Boys, what the hell are you doing?
Follow Tony Maritano on YouTube at Total Therapy Solution. Find Dave Kittle at ConciergePainRelief.com and on YouTube at The Dave Kittle Show. And follow Jimmy McKay at PT Pinecast on YouTube, the socials, and wherever you binge podcasts you pretend are for CEUs. And hey, just a reminder, none of this was for advice. This was for entertainment only. Our lawyers say that counts. Thanks, Keegan.